Oh, you look great. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ken Susi here at Fishman Live. We were having some technical difficulties. Mike Inez had a old version of Skype from 1984 that wasn't working for some reason. I don't know why that happened. But guys, Mike Inez, Allison Chains, he's here today. This is absolutely unbelievable. And just if you have any questions for Mike, Fishman Live is being broadcasted on Twitch, on the Fishman Twitch, on the Fishman YouTube, and on the Fishman Facebook. So please, if you have any questions, I'm going to be seeing a screen where all the questions will be popping up, and I'll be asking Mike these questions as they go. So guys, Mike Inez, he's up right now. Mike, say hi to everybody.
Hello, world.
you already have people like waving at you and stuff like that before you even said hi.
Oh. I showered for this.
Dude, I did not.
I committed to this.
Dude, I haven't showered in like 2 days, and I feel good. I feel like I'm coming into my own.
Dude, it's Earth Day yesterday. You got to get out. Get out them balls.
Absolutely amazing. So, what are you doing right now? I mean, obviously you're in California. What are you doing to stay safe?
Oh, I just been holed up. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like being a musician, there's like a duality to this lifestyle. So we spend half the time we're out there. Alice in Chains just got off a 31 country tour, so you're surrounded by people all the time. You're in a plane, you're in a hotel, you're with the crew guys, you're playing festivals, you're doing meet and greets. So half of your life is just, being surrounded by all this stuff. And then when we come off the road, and you know this too, is you hole up, man. So I think true musicians are kind of made for isolation. We're used to sitting around playing guitars and learning records and running scales and sitting by yourself a lot anyways, So we came off the road. Our last show was September 21st or something, I think. And then this stuff hit. We went through the holidays and this stuff hit. And, luckily we fit our whole tour cycle in before this hit. I mean, it's just, I've never seen anything so disruptive, just really kick us in the nuts. This is just crazy for everybody,
Yeah, I want to say that you guys timed out your album cycle absolutely right, because I think it was the second you finished, this whole thing happened. So you got to have your whole album cycle. You guys got to close it out the right way, and then the pandemic hit. So that's pretty cool.
It's frequent flyer mileage from American Airlines, and me and the wife are celebrating 20 years together coming up in May here.
Yeah.
And so we were just going to book a nice vacation in Italy with all these free miles. We were just going to go. And then you came back from Italy right when the shit happened. And I was like, okay, well, let's not do that.
I know. I was telling you, it's a nightmare.
Unbelievable. I mean, there's a lot of guys like that, Testament, Exodus, Death Angel tour. A lot of those guys got hit. Will, the drummer of Death Angel, was in a coma for 2 weeks for crying out loud,
Was it because of the coronavirus?
I think so, yeah. A lot of people are getting hit, so...
Whoa, I didn't know that, because I know Chuck Billy and his wife, who are the best people in the world, they both got this, so they were laid up pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm kind of going nutty. I'm playing more than ever. I mean... me and the wife moved to a new house, and we're just, we moved in, and I'm getting the studio up and running, and I was just in the middle of, we're going to break ground on a drum room here at the house, and me and you spoke about this before, and we were just going to do it, and then everything in LA shut down, so I can't get the contractors over, and, we're still going to do it, but we just got to put it on hold for a while, so I'm sitting around, I'm playing with gear, and, just playing more than ever. I really miss playing with a real drummer. Me and Tommy Clefados from Black Sabbath and Ozzy's band, we got to get a jam or two in before this hit. And May 10th, we did a show with Bill Burr, the comedian, Boston's Finest.
Yeah.
And Dean Del Rey, and we did this old AC/DC. They did their comedy routine, and then we went up and played. So I got to make a bunch of noise with our friends like, Dave Lombardo from Slayer and Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine and Larry from Primus and just all these different dudes. Juliette Lewis came out and sang a song and a couple songs, and we're just like, we got one last jam in LA, sold out show on May 10th, and May 11th they shut everything down. So at first we were like, oh, we got one last concert in to play, and then we started thinking like, oh, we caught this shit for sure. We're all hugging and kissing, everybody's backstage, and we were hanging out, and luckily we're all good, and just nutty.
Well,
Scott today from Rival Sons jam with us, and our friend Josh from Northern California, a good killer guitar player, and Billy Rowe from Jet Boy, and we just had all these. It was just like a gathering of just cool people jamming out old AC/DC songs. It was really fun, but I miss that stuff. It's I'm a social guy. I hate playing along with the drum machines and stuff. It's driving me.
I know your whole interaction. Yeah, your whole career was built off of like literally hanging out in jam rooms, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm used to this kind of stuff. I'm more happy around stinky roadies and dusty road cases, to be honest. Back of trucks, smoking cigarettes in the back of diesel trucks, and this is my 30th year of touring. So I mean. Yeah, it's just playing is one thing and being isolated, but I just really need to hang out with people, So I'm hoping that it opens up for us all pretty soon. I mean, that's the whole point we get into this stuff anyways, is to have that transference with the audience and hang out with your bros and make racket, and everybody's on one groove. It's a team sport, and it just sucks when you're by yourself.
Yeah, I hear you. We got a couple questions coming through here. Nina is asking, are you working on some music? So like, I assume since you're building your own studio, you must be working on some of your own stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm playing now more than ever. A lot of guitars, and I just whipped out all the guitars, the acoustic guitars from the Jar of Flies record. I got them out, so I'm playing just a lot of guitar, and I got some of our new basses with the new pickups in it too. So I'm gonna start. I got some guys from different rock bands, our peers, are sending me stuff to play on, So
yeah,
I'm gonna weed through it and pick 2 or 3 and play on some special collaborations. And I don't know if we're gonna do it live, but we're definitely like different. I don't want to say who quite yet, but everybody's like sending stuff around, and so I'm all ready to go here. I got a 69 Ampeg stack sitting right in front of me. I'm looking at, and I got all my stuff. So I'm just gonna keep on making racket here until they let us go out. And kind of sucks. Today is the first day we turned on our air conditioner here in LA. It's like 90 degrees. We're looking at a week or two of just really hot weather. So normally, this is a time where, going to the beach and hanging out with the dogs and, everybody's together. So it's a weird world, man. I don't even know.
Yeah, what's up?
This is going to work out. And it's draft day today, so I'm all pumped. I got my Raiders jersey on, or my Raiders shirt on, and ready to go. But I don't even know if there's going to be a season. I mean, there's no baseball, and it's nutty, man.
So everyone who's listening, Mike and I met originally. Now that we're talking about the draft, we initially met up because he insulted a T-shirt that I had, and I was probably level 10 hammered in Australia, and I thought he was trying to pick a fight with me over Tom Brady. So this is the first time you and I have spoken where Tom Brady hasn't been a Patriot, so we could both talk crap on him now.
He's still going to go down as the greatest of all time, But,
yeah. He's probably going to win another Super Bowl this year too, as well. Now that Gronk's on the team.
I don't want that. But,
well, it's the New England Buccaneers, man. They're killing it.
Yeah, it was so funny because I remember I was sitting there at the lobby of the hotel in Brisbane, and you walked in. And you were really bent, like something was going on with your room or something. And you were at the front, and I saw you had that thing. So I made some snide comment about Tom Brady, and you turned around, bro. I thought you were going to punch me in the face. I'm like, whoa!
You offered me a drink. I'm like, all right, this guy's cool.
Yeah, come here, let me buy you a drink. And then we've been friends ever since, brothers ever since. It's so great.
I'll never forget too, because I was so flustered with whatever was going on that you and I were probably sitting together for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I was like, weren't you on the Ozzy DVD? Like, what's VHS, the live VHS?
Yeah,
I forget what it's called.
Loud album, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Who was on that tour? It was like, there was a lot of cool bands on tour. Like Every Time I Die, I think, was on that tour, and like a lot of heavy bands. And was that Nine Inch Nails or
Nine Inch Nails was a headliner. You guys played right before, I think, Nine Inch Nails, which was totally awesome. That was when you guys came back, right?
I think so. I don't even know what year that was. It's been a while.
Yeah, I can't even remember. It's just such a, you know how it is. Like you end up hanging with your friends and drinking. You can't remember anybody that was there.
I mean, that's what I miss, meeting you in a hotel lobby in Brisbane, Australia, out of the blue, and then here we are years later together, and or just like running into the fucking Oak Ridge boys at the VIP lounge at LAX, shit like that. It's just amazing, this lifestyle, and it's just on hold right now. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
out there.
I live for those moments because like I was in an airport once and Phil Demmel from Machine Head at the time he was in Machine Head just texted me like I see you. And I'm just like looking at my phone. I'm like, what?
Creepy.
Yeah, he took the creepy approach. So, all right. So Juan,
Phil actually is one of the guys that sent me some stuff to play on. It's like so I love Phil. We go golfing and we're both into heavy music, and I'm a huge fan of the demo.
oh yeah, he's like one of the best guys ever. But Juan Romero, he must be out of the loop. He's asking you, what is your favorite bass to play? And I'm gonna answer this for him. It's probably the Moonburst because you played it for 30 years of your career, right?
Oh yeah, it's still my favorite bass. We've been through. Ozzy bought me that bass. It's an old story. But Ozzy bought me that bass, and it's been through wars. God, I still use it to this day. I mean, I always say I've jammed every kinds of style with that bass, from Carrie Underwood to Kerry King from Slayer. That bass has just been with everybody in between too, with Anna Nancy Wilson and Slash, and just it's just my go-to bass. It's sitting right here too. I just love the thing. So I'm glad we got to emulate it with the new Fishman Fluence pickups.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Yeah, I mean, we did a huge launcher on your new Legacy series pickups, the Mike Inez Legacy series, and yeah. So basically, I mean, we could talk about this. That bass sounds unlike anything I've ever heard in my life. That Moon bass, like literally, I know that you've put like every single every single competitor's pickups in there, and it wasn't doing it for you. That one particular bass sounded amazing. And that's what your Legacy series pickup is. It's literally, we took the soul out of that sound and replicated it, and we boxed it up, and now you can play it in any bass you want. So you want to talk about how all that went down, or just the process?
It's a Warwick bass. I don't think we said that. It's a Warwick bass.
Oh yeah,
just the best bass company for me, certainly, and a lot of other guys. But yeah, I think it was 1989 or 90. Is cruising around Europe, and their old A&R guy named Woody Wallen came backstage to a show, and he had a couple basses, so we bought the first couple, and they just sounded great for me. They just fit my hands, and just that bass. The pickups went bad. I had an old set of EMGs in it that came stock with it, and it went bad while I was in Germany on an Ozzy tour, and so my tech, Chris Kanzi, he pulled them out and just went down to the local music store and got another set of EMGs and threw them in there. So it just sounded phenomenal. So it's been my go-to bass all the way up to the Rainier Fog record. I used on every single record almost. Yeah. And so yeah, I was always trying to like get the model number of the. I've sent it to pictures to guys that work at that company, and they said, oh, that's it. For years they were telling me, no, that's not one of ours. So, the jury's still out whether it was a counterfeit or not. So I mean, all this time maybe I was chasing the tone that was on a counterfeit pickups, and the guys at Warwick said there was a guy in Germany doing fake EMGs from like 92 to 96 or something in there. So
and he passed away, right?
Yeah, he passed away now, and we've never found the components that matched on the inside of that bass, and has a weird phasing thing to it. It's a real musical bass, even when you're doing slides and you accidentally hit a harmonic, or it just like it's always in key, and just like it's growly. It has a lot of top end, and it's just basically been my best friend. That's the one bass I want in my coffin when I kick the bucket. That one's going with me,
When we yeah. So that was the coolest part, is that we went through a series of R&D exercises where we met up with you, I think like twice, and we were just going A-Bing between that bass and the Fluence, the Legacy, what became your Legacy series. And I think it was like 8 hours in a studio with Paul Fig, your producer. And next thing you know, we were punching in and out of takes that you couldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah, I've never seen you guys approached it a different way too. Other people were just sending me boxes of pickups. Here, put this in, see if that sounds right, or But you guys approached it the opposite way, from like, okay, really, what is going on here? You put it in that machine where it was like a MRI machine. We put it in there, and it shows the throw of the pickups.
Yeah.
And then so you matched that, with the layering, and only let that through. So you guys approached it from a whole different angle. I've just I was blown away by Fishman. I got to tell you, I'm so glad we had a gig that night in Boston. I remember.
Yeah.
And me and my tech Scott Dockrate and just grabbed a couple bases in the Moonburst. We went over there, and it was just amazing to see the factory and start what was a 2-year process for this. It took a while, but we got it, and it sounds awesome. So I can't wait to record. I got a couple here at the house.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on 4 or 5 more from Frank up in Ventura. So hopefully I can run up to the beach and go grab those pretty soon when they open up LA again. I mean,
yeah. No, that day was awesome, because you walked into the Fishman headquarters and you're like, all right, I'm gonna end up playing on an amp, and we were like, no, let's take the strings off. Let's just like assess it, and then we'll hand it back to you. And you were just like, what?
Wait, how does that work?
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, you and I were at that baseball game after the show, on, what was it, Monday Night Baseball, right?
Yeah. And you were on a national broadcast, and they thought you were in Alice in Chains. It was awesome.
Yeah, the singer of my band, Trevor, has his brother works for the Red Sox, and I got us on the Jumbotron, but we didn't know it was on the ESPN feed. You started getting calls from like Zach Wild and stuff, right? Like,
yeah. Zachy hit us up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That was a pretty sick night, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, you got to come in with us one day. Grab a guitar, man.
Oh yeah. You
play
kidding
some
me?
or something,
Yeah, I don't want to make Jerry look bad, No, I'm just kidding.
We got a great open door policy with our band. We'll jam with anybody. We just love it. I mean, goes back to the fellowship of this thing. That's the whole. It's almost like a church kind of vibe, I mean, you go to play with these festivals, and it transcends any race or Republican and Democrat bullshit or anything. It's just like, it really brings people together. It's no matter where we go in the world, it's like, people seem to respond to the songs, and just, so it's a moment that we're all in it together. It's really a special transference that goes on, that, these internet jams and like, I'm already kind of getting burnt out on everybody playing acoustic versions of their songs and stuff online.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just want to go to a show and hear some loud Marshalls and, real bands doing their thing, what they're supposed to, what they're meant to do, what they're built to do,
Well, I gotta say to you, like, when we played together in Australia, that was the year you guys came back, and I was definitely a huge fan of Alice in Chains back in the day when I was a younger kid, and I remember always saying to myself, like, without Lane, I don't see this happening, And when we saw you guys on that first run, I couldn't believe how, like, it reestablished. I had confirmation that I was kind of like, you know what? Everything I thought that Alice in Chains was that plus more. Like, you guys connected so amazingly with the audience. You guys are one of those bands that's super important to everybody, I personally think. And the new singer, he does a fantastic job. But I forgot how important you guys were, and I'm glad you guys have continued. I'm sure you guys got a lot of praise for coming back.
Yeah, both. He got both. It's like at first, like nobody wanted to know. I mean, the offers we were getting to play were just like, so like people didn't believe it, And I told William Duvall early on that there's no two ways about this. You're just going to have to go out one gig at a time, face to face, and just we're going to have to win them over the old way, So I think on that first tour, we did 31 countries this last tour, but I think on that tour it was 43 countries. So we made the investment. We're like, okay, we're going to go out and we're just going to play, and we're going to play and play and play, and we're going to go everywhere and just get in front of people and play. And, I think it was one of the best decisions for all of us. I mean, it was something that was kind of unfinished business, and at first we just wanted to do one tour around the world and say goodbye to everybody. And I'm just so happy that we still love each other so much, and we've been through so much together over these years, and we played thousands of gigs with Williams at this point, probably. I mean, God.
Well, I was gonna say when I saw you guys, William's a longtime Fishman user as well. He uses our acoustic products, so I think the world of him. But yeah, the one thing that most bands make the mistake of doing is they try to replace their singer with someone that is exactly like their singer, right? Van Halen had a lot of success, obviously, from going from David Lee Roth to Sammy Hagar. It was just different type of success. But William has like, I think it worked in your benefit that he wasn't Lane. He was just like his own guy. He was his own lead singer. He didn't look like him. He did not try to act like him. I think people respect that. And I think you guys are the first band that started that little template because, like, think about Journey, right? They have a singer that basically tries to emulate, Steve Perry, right? So, I mean, that must have been weighed in your decision making, right? When you picked him out as a singer.
First of all, and anybody that wants to be in this fucked up business, God bless you. I don't care if you're in a cover band or what kind of style. If you make that decision in your life to do this for a living, then I support you. And whether it is with Ornell or Steve Perry or whatever. Yeah, with Will, it's just I was really proud of him because he just early on, especially, was getting such a backlash. But he would just put his chin out there. He'd go right to the edge of the stage. Big festivals. Opening for Metallica, Rock 'em Ring Festival and stuff. 125,000 people. He'd just go right to the edge of the stage, put his chin out, and just bring it. And he just did his thing. And I'm sure he's been through his struggles mentally, how to deal with this stuff, and certainly we did. And so.
Yeah.
We're just a good ball team. We just go out and we just play. And I try to keep it easy. I just look at it like we're just making a bunch of racket. We're not curing cancer. So I love this shit. I love just going in places and making a bunch of racket and keeping it simple,
So basically, someone just wrote on the comment section, Juan, he wrote that you guys play with Robbie Krieger of The Doors. So, like, that's your whole vibe. I mean, yeah, you guys have an open door policy, but you've been jamming with people even well before Alice in Chains. What was it like to play with Robbie Krieger?
Oh, Robbie's great, and it was kind of like that was spur of the moment. We did a sold out show here at the LA Hollywood Palladium, and Robbie was at the show, and we had an extra guitar and a practice amp in the dressing room. So we just pulled out this little Bogner practice amp and put a mic on it and threw a guitar on Robbie, and he was totally into it, and it was just great.
What did he play with you guys?
I think he did Rooster.
No way.
Yeah. So it's just cool, and it's nice to see like different people's flip when you give them a solo or something. Like everybody, like if you did a solo, it'd be completely different than Robbie Krieger's, So that's kind of like a point in the show where I could stop focusing on like my stuff or the big picture, just kind of like focus in on one dude who's, and it's like, it's for me, I'm a fan. Like what is Robbie Krieger going to sound like when he plays Rooster with Alice in Chains at a, sold out Hollywood show, just great. I love this stuff, man. You do too. We're lifers. I mean, I'm completely unqualified to do anything else in this world.
Yeah, you're right. Like Buzz was saying it. The Buzz in my band was saying that if there's ever a job at Fishman that opens up where he has to sit and look outside of a window in one chair for 8 to 10 hours, he's the guy. That's what I think. That's what we do. But you know who popped on here, and you're gonna know this name, Mr. Scott Ferreira, another Raiders fan.
Yeah, totally. Yes,
and
my brother.
Yeah, he is asking you, Mike, are you running your Fishmans at 18 or 9 volts? Let me answer that, Scott. Our pickups are max. They work best at 9 volt. There's no reason to run them at 18 volt because you don't have to do that with Fishman Fluence pickups or the Mike Inez Legacy series. But oh man, another.
Yeah, you might want to ask Scott who we're taking today on the first round of the draft. I think receiver. We need receivers. So
you guys are going to get a receiver. What about a quarterback? You guys are trying to get rid of your quarterback, right?
I don't know. And I was talking to Kerry King about this. We played a show in Mexico City, and I sat with Kerry, and we were talking. He's a big Raider fan, and the stadium is gorgeous. In fact, Kerry just bought a place out in Vegas to have a season tickets and go to the games. He's that into it, Yeah. And the stadium is just gorgeous. We're ready to pop on it, and then all this stuff happens. So I'm worried there's going to be no NFL season this year,
Yeah, no, exactly. Kerry, I think, is like the leader of your little crew because, I mean, he's that diehard. He bought a place like right near the new stadium. They moved to Vegas. He moves to Vegas. He's hardcore.
I mean, it's great to see, once again, to sit in a bar by chance at the hotel in Mexico City and Kerry King walks in and we sit there and talk Raiders for 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's those kind of interactions I miss in this thing, dude. I'm going kind of, you know, nutty. I'm at the point now where I'm wiping my dog's asses before they hop in bed with us, and my wife's got me that trained.
Have the Raiders even won a
I
Super
gotta
Bowl
get
yet?
out of here soon.
Yeah, have the Raiders even won a Super Bowl yet?
Oh yeah, two.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
what years?
three. I'm not sure. I got the trophies here somewhere. They're
80s,
upstairs.
probably 80s, right? Not 90s.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that tuck rule, we would have been. You guys would have went to the Super Bowl then too.
Well, they went to the Super Bowl, and then our singer melted down and went on a party bender when they were in San Diego doing the Super Bowl. Remember that year?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, our starting center went down to Mexico and partied his ass off and missed the game. So yeah.
So let's go back into your career a little bit. Like, so those early years, other than Alice in Chains, like, just tell your audience a little bit. I'm sure you talk about this all the time, but what it was like to, like, when you were hanging out in those jam spaces. I met you at Mates. The first time you and I think, really hung out, like, when we were working on the Fishman stuff, we went to Mates. It seems like that's your home base, and you were telling me that, like, all the talent that went through there and all the people you got to hang out with. Tell us a little bit about your early life, like, prior to Ozzy, prior to Alice in Chains and Heart.
I was working at a record warehouse. I was an export manager for a one-stop, they call it, where you send all the records out. And rehearsing at Mates since 1986.
Yeah.
And we had like 2 rooms at the time. Bobby, the owner, is one of my favorite humans and oldest friends in this business. And, so I mean, I was watching people like early Guns N' Roses play there, or Bowie rehearse there. Van Halen. There's been like the main one for me was Ronnie Dio. Dio's early solo rehearsals when he was getting the first solo stuff fresh out of Black Sabbath. I mean, to see, I'd be rehearsing with my little band in one room, and then you see Ronnie Dio come walking in and go in the other room. It's just like mind blowing,
Yeah.
Just that and it's just Bobby's brother-in-law named Jeff. He had tried out for Ozzy, and then he said. He came in the room and said, "Hey, you should go around to Joe's Garage, Frank Zappa's place around the corner, and go jam with Ozzy." So I was like, "Oh, cool!" I thought I would play Crazy Train one time with them, and that would be it, So, and then that's where that started. Did that, and next thing you know, I'm living in this Dublin, Ireland with Ozzy, and doing rehearsals to play Wembley Arena and start that whole thing, and that morphed into Alice in Chains and Slash and Heart and Black Label Society, and I just love playing with folks. I'll play with anybody, man. I just love this stuff. I will play with anybody.
Didn't you say that you went into the rehearsal? First of all, I want you to tell us about the experience. But didn't you say like you got to play Crazy Train, or they asked you what you want to play and you say Crazy Train, then they just started playing something else?
Oh, yeah, Zach Wild. So I walk in the room, and it's Ozzy and Sharon and Mark Candelario, who's Tool's stage manager now. He was the drum tech at the time. And this guy, Tony, and who's Ozzy's and Sharon's assistant. And then Zach and Randy Castillo, Zach Wild. And so I walked in, and I had like a LA Kings jersey on and some ratty Levi's. And I walked in, and there's dudes dressed up in like leather clothing. And they I walked in, I said, okay, I'm not nervous at all because I am never getting this gig. I'm listening through the wall, and I'm I kind of knew the parts, but I'm really kind of dialing it in at the last minute, listening through the wall of these other guys who obviously knew their shit,
Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there, and then. So then Mark comes out and points at me. He said, "All right, get in there." So I went in there, and they said, "What song do you want to play?" And I said, "Crazy Train." And Zach Wild looks me right in the eyes. "Oh, okay, cool." And he goes straight into "I Don't Know." Like, you son of a bitch, man.
Did you know that song well enough? I mean, you made the band, right?
Yeah. If you don't know Ozzy songs, you shouldn't have been in the room. I think there was 212 guys that tried out that time. And
yeah.
I just always I always will love Ozzy for that. He changed my family's life, not just my life, but my family's life, and health insurance, and I didn't even have a passport when I joined his band. So, I mean, they were scrambling to get me a passport. I was so green. The crew guys said I was so green, I was light green. I wasn't even properly green yet, but
Yeah.
I just had a blast. We laughed our way around the world. I'm still great friends with Ozzy and Sharon. I just, I owe him so much, it was just such a mind blowing thing to, like, okay, hey, what are we doing next week? Oh, we're doing 2 nights at the Budokan. It's like, oh, excellent. Okay, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that with you.
So you immediately went from like trying to be in your own band to being in like a vacation band where every day is a vacation playing on stage, basically.
Yeah, it was funny because I was like 22 or 23 at the time, and like, I also feel like not as cool because I like all these other bands, and you hear interviews with like Dave Grohl or whatever talking about the van tours, and I just God, I never got to do a van tour. I feel like left out, or something.
Well,
So
whenever you're ready, Unearth needs a bass player, so.
okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure I'll do it for like a week and go, okay, this sucks.
Oh, a
Okay.
week? You'd be 2 days and you'd be out. But it
No,
must have been pretty boring touring in those early days with Ozzy, right? Because like they didn't party really ever, right? You just probably sat around your hotel room, did nothing.
We had a great time, yeah. Because back then it was like the bands would kind of we'd live together at a house and stuff. We'd go out to like Todd Rundgren's place in Bearsville, New York, and Woodstock there, and go. So we were all living together and we rehearse. And then like when we went to the Thompson Twins complex in Dublin when I first joined the band, so we were all like living together and literally pissing in trash cans together. I mean, it was just amazing. It's like.
There's no other way to bond with your new bandmates than to piss in a trash can.
Yeah, just okay. Hey, there's Ozzy's dick. Oh, there's dick. Huh.
That's what happens, man. So I love. Okay, we had this conversation really recently, and I love it. So there's a big difference between Alice in Chains and Ozzy as far as like how much bass volume they have on stage. So like basically Ozzy used to like walls of cabinets and Alice in Chains had like a smaller, quieter rig. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, we didn't go quiet with Alice until like last few tours. With Alice, we took the amps off the stage. We have all these moving lights all the time now, so the amps kind of just started getting in the way of the big production like we just had on the Korn Alice in Chains tour.
Yeah.
I think it's better for the singers too, the in-ears and small ball,
Yeah.
I think the height, and with Alice in Chains, we used to go big too. At one point, it was, I was running 618 Ampeg speakers. I had 618s, 12 15s, and 24 10s. I have pictures of it somewhere of just this massive. Ozzy loved bass too. He was always more bass, turn up the bass,
Yeah.
And then, so with the invention of in-ears and stuff, like singers could hear better and you could get better mixes. And so the stage volumes are coming down, and the PA technology is way better now too. I think that like bands don't need to go like that old school, like you see, snapshots of, the Who playing with all those amps on stage. I mean, that was overpowering the PA, and they needed that stuff because the PA sucked back then too, So
I wonder how they did that because the drums, even though you hear yourself, like the drums are way too soft at that point, right? When your amp is cranked, like you can't hear anything.
Jerry at one point had 6 Bogner stacks full going, and I had all that stuff on my side of the stage, and I remember us gearing up for some big stadium run opening up for somebody up in Seattle, and you couldn't even hear the Sean until they turned the PA on. I was like, okay, I think we're too loud, guys. It's like I can't even hear that cymbal that's 2 feet from my ear. I can't even hear that, so I think we should bring it down. And I love amps.
Yeah.
I love amps. So, but of course I don't sing. So I'm not the lead singer of a rock band. So of course guys like me or you are going to say, okay, we need to turn up. We need more amps, we need more volume. But so I get it, and I will go down kicking and screaming. I mean, I've learned to appreciate the in-ears, but I just like amps. I like the way bands like the Cult and bands like Foo Fighters still roll it with no in-ears, and they just set up your amp and you go for it. You put a mic on it and off you go.
Yeah. Well, it's they have the luxury, even though it's cool that they're doing that. They have the luxury of having like the best sound on stage ever. Me in my
Yeah.
in my crappy band, we're just turning up and hopefully something, hopefully a gig happens.
No, you know what you're doing. You got to give it credit. You know what you're doing.
A little bit. After a half a bottle of Jack Daniels, I'm pretty firm in knowing what I'm doing.
Just got to hope the audience is as drunk as you.
Exactly. That's how it goes. Mike, hey, this has been awesome. We've crossed a little bit over a half an hour, but listen, you're amazing, dude. Thank you so much. Everyone on this feed has said you're the nicest guy in metal, and I agree. You are the nicest guy in metal, even though I know some of the bad things you do. No, I'm just kidding. All the bodies that you and I have gotten rid of at 3 in the morning in LA.
all the memes of that big black fella. We've been sending it back and forth.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Real quick, let's talk about that guy. He passed away. I mean, it's a global phenomenon. That guy, it's unbelievable.
He's the star of the coronavirus, definitely.
Spends zero on marketing. He's like the talk of the planet right now in this pandemic.
I'll even say this is that my cousins, we're of the same age, but we don't really talk too often. That gentleman has bonded us because we send texts to each other constantly. Some of the texts I've sent you have come from them.
And it's so creative too, the way that everybody's. I think that's the whole secret that's going to get us through this pandemic is just being creative and just having a laugh. I mean. It's tough.
Oh,
and
before I let you go, I gotta ask you this question. You don't have to answer now, but there's Steve Brodsky, some of the guys in the band Caven. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those guys, but they do this television show. It's like a hardcore, like post-hardcore kind of like thing. But it's called 2 Minutes to Midnight, and it's done at St. Vitus in New York.
Yeah,
that club. They actually sell that place out, and they do a live TV show at St. Vitus. So it's picked up some steam, and during this period, they're doing like a hodgepodge of artists to do like covers together. And they asked me to do one, and they're looking for a bass player. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna hit Mike Inez. So I'm gonna.
Do you need some sort of like app at the house here? Or?
No. Like all that has to happen is you record your parts and videotape yourself on your iPhone. And then that's it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We use one of those new basses.
Yeah. Do you have a recording rig at your house?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got full Pro Tools rig.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll hit you up after this feed and stuff like that. But yeah, 2 Minutes to Midnight. You and I are gonna do a jam cover together with those guys. But all you do is like they
Pick
send
a nice song.
Yeah,
Pick a good song.
They send you a template, and all you do is you play to the drums and the guitars and stuff. And it's they already sent to me. It's awesome.
Oh, okay, cool. Send it along.
All right.
Yeah, have a go.
All right, guys. Well, hey, this
I'll
concludes.
play on anything.
Same here. All right, Mike, thank you very much, guys. So basically, we are concluding this Fishman Live. Thanks for watching, and this was Mike Inez. Please buy his Legacy Series Mike Inez bass pickups, and Mike, we'll see you soon.
Okay. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.
You too, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Later, man.